Welcome to my 2025 May favorites at night. It's dark outside because my days now are so packed that this is really the only free time that I have anymore. May was crazy. I started school, I traveled, I went to Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Austin, and then I started school like right after, so I've just been busy, but I still enjoyed a couple movies, books, and music this month, and I'm excited to share them with you. So first, books, I read Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, and I have to say, a lot better than the movie. The book really was just like so fantastic, and there was a lot that they left out of. I know it's very cliche to say that the book is better than the movie. I'm not always a hater of movie adaptations, but I feel like with Fight Club, the book was definitely better, and I really enjoyed it. The ending of the book, in my opinion, was just so much better than the movie, and I did like rewatch the movie right after reading the book, and I was disappointed. So definitely check it out if you're a fan of the movie. You will love the book. I also listened to the audiobook of Catching the Big Fish by David Lynch, where he narrates it. The book really was just so fantastic, and it's helped me a lot because I read it like before school started, and it's helped me a lot with just like getting my creative juices flowing again. Going from working at an internship, going back to school where like I have to come up with these really creative ideas, and so I've also been like meditating thanks to this book. I do feel like a lot more at peace. Read the book if you are wanting to get more into like a creative headspace. I really enjoyed it, and I even bought a physical copy right after that I can always reference. I just went and grabbed the physical copy, but yeah, I just bought it a used edition online, and it's really great. It's a great little book to keep. For music, Lorde released a single, Man of the Year, which is so good, and so I've really been enjoying that. I've also been listening to Give Up by the Postal Service a lot, and so I have the physical copy. This, I forget his name, but one of the guys, or like the singer from this, is also the singer for Death Cab for Cutie. This album is so good though. Like, I was really listening to it this time, and it's really romantic and very sweet. Check it out if you want some indie early 2000s stuff. I believe this album came out in 2003. Also, the news literally just came out that Taylor Swift bought her masters again, so I've been bumping OG 1989. That album is so good, and there's just something like the youthfulness in her voice that just can't be replicated in the Taylor's version of 1989. So I've been listening to the OG again, guilt-free, and it's been fantastic. So I'm very happy that she was able to do that for not only for herself, but for the industry as a whole. Into movies. I watched a total of 19 movies this month, and I gave 4 of them 5 stars. I also, of note, I watched Hairspray twice this month in the span of like a week. Fantastic movie. We need more things like that, please. Thank you. Okay, the first movie that I gave 5 stars to was True Grit, directed by the Coen brothers, released in 2010. True Grit is an adaptation of a novel, and it's a Western, starring Matt Damon and Haley Steinfeld. I believe this was her first ever on-screen debut, or at least film debut. Basically, Haley Steinfeld's character's dad gets murdered, and she goes out on this crazy trip with Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges also fantastic in this movie. I loved this movie. I love it when there's an unlikely pairing. Basically, like, they're an unlikely trio that comes together, they have the same goal in mind, and they set out to accomplish it, and really it was just such a good movie. And it was released in 2010, but it really does have like an old-timey Western feel to it. The Coen brothers definitely did a really good job with the production. I love like almost everything that they've put out. I really respect them as directors. The movie was really fantastic. If you're a fan of Westerns, definitely check it out. The second movie that I gave 5 stars to is called Joyland by Saeem Sadiq. This movie was intense. Basically, it's about this Pakistani man that gets a job as a background dancer for this transgender woman, and just kind of like his family dynamics and the upheaval of his life as he's like trying to come to terms with his own sexuality. In this movie, there was no happy ending really for any of the characters. It was deeply tragic. I thought that it was extremely beautiful though, in the way of just like how real it was, and the characters just felt extremely real. And the whole time you're trying to figure out like who the bad guy is, but there's not really one. Everybody is extremely flawed in their own ways, which is really just how we are as humans. At the end you learn that really like no one is to blame and everyone comes out heartbroken. It was really sad, which I don't think always necessarily makes a good movie, but the way that this world was depicted, it was just kind of like, you know, you make your own conclusions. Sometimes the conclusion is that there is none, and that people just go on with their lives. Like, you don't really see the consequences of what happens to anyone after. The fate of the characters is left unanswered. 5 stars for that movie. Really beautiful. The third movie that I gave 5 stars to is The Virgin Suicides, directed by Sofia Coppola. And it was released in 1999, which is when I was born. This movie felt deeply personal, very personal to me. It's been on my watch list forever. Like, I always wanted to watch it. I like Sofia Coppola a lot as a director, even though she is a Nepo baby, but you know what? Like, sometimes that's okay. Like, you could be a Nepo baby and still fail. She happens to be succeeding, so I love that for her. I didn't have a sibling that died by suicide. I did have a sibling that struggled a lot with mental health, and it affected our entire family in ways that like the sisters in the movie got homeschooled, we also got homeschooled. Also, like, having it be from the boys' point of view felt deeply voyeuristic, which I think was the whole point. It felt like they never viewed the girls as people, which definitely is purposeful, because they really just viewed them as like creatures that needed to be saved, because they're very conventionally attractive young girls, like blonde hair, blue eyes. The sisters really just wanted to get out of there at the end of the day, like out of the grips of their abusive parents. And I think this movie also did a really good job of showcasing the different ways that adolescent girls and boys grow into adulthood. And the scenes where all the sisters are just like hanging out in the same room together and not really doing anything together, but they're just like in the same space, it's deeply relatable. Like, and it made me miss my sisters. Like, even though those times were really hard for us, it was really awesome just like being in the same room together and like doing random things. Finally, the fourth movie that I gave 5 stars to is Finding Nemo, released in 2003. 2003 is really getting a big shout out this episode. This was the first time I watched it as an adult, and I really miss when Disney movies, like, you get a different side of the story when you're a kid watching it versus when you're an adult watching it. Like, as an adult, I related a lot with Marlin and I understood more of what he was going through. But then I remember, like, as a kid watching this movie thinking that, oh, he's so strict, he doesn't let Nemo do whatever he wants, so it's his fault that he got taken away or whatever. And at the end of the day, that's true to some extent because of the way that he raised Nemo, but like, this movie was just so awesome. And I love sea creatures, and the animation was beautiful. And I miss, like, I'm so tired of the different live action things that Disney is doing, because there are certain things you can do with animation that you can't do with live action. Like, you can't get the really like magical nature of the ocean, and then also telling this family story of like reunification and survival and making friends along the way. You can't do those like in a live action and display the same amount of like beauty. And then the same is vice versa. Like, there are some things you can do in a live action that you can't do in animation. So we just need to treat the two mediums with the same amount of reverence and make better animated movies. Damn, like, we don't, oh my god, like, I hope to god they never try to make this a live action movie, because that would destroy literally the entire point of this movie, and I would scream and cry. Like, Finding Nemo is beautiful, leave it alone. 5 stars, definitely give it a rewatch if you haven't watched it since you were a kid. We had the DVD of this, and growing up we had one of those cars that had like a TV in it, like a little flip down TV, and we would just like play that every time we were in the car because I had younger siblings. And I swear I could have like told you the whole script from memory when I was a kid. Like, this movie was so good when I was a kid, so good as an adult. I cried in the beginning this time as an adult. I was not expecting that. I was watching it with my nieces and I started crying in the beginning. This movie's really beautiful. and I love it. And we need more animation like this. Those were my May favorites. It's Pride Month. Hey, I'm so excited. June is like one of my favorite months for real. I'm so excited to see what the world is ready to offer me. But other than that, that's it. So my name is Jimana. Thanks so much for watching my May favorites, and I'll see you guys next month, unless I upload another video soon. Okay, bye.